we've understood that, let's look at the 6 qualities here. Okay. In this set rep scheme, 25 reps are in this strength speed zone. Okay. That doesn't necessarily mean that we're training the quality of strength speed. It's just saying that the prescription falls within it. Now, let's say we bump this down to 3-3-3, 5-5-3-3-3. We're still there. Notice that. Okay. Our load volume went from 175 to 133. Our reps went down, so our work went down. Time under tension went down as well because we're not spending as much time because we're doing less reps. And all of the eccentric time is the same. Now, if you want to know how to completely customize these 6 qualities, you can do so here. In the top left corner here, you got a plus button to expand. This is where all of your customization comes into play. Currently, my customization is currently in these filters. Feel free to keep it. If you want to adjust it based off what you see, you're more than welcome to. Let me explain what they mean. First here, this first box is going to completely control the names of your qualities, okay? So whatever name is here. So if I change this to max effort and I press enter, that name's going to change, okay? The first thing this is going to ask is, what is the full total volume range of this quality that I want? So if we're going to assess, so to me that's really heavy, I'm only going to count the reps. I'm only going to count it as good if the total reps are between 1 and 5. Now, let's take a pause on that and come down here to intensity ranges, okay? If the total reps are between 1 and 5, the percentage of the intensity I'm lifting at is between 92% and 100%. And also, in this fourth box, the reps per set are only 1 to 2, because we're not doing more than 2 reps per set in an assessment. That's what's going to give it a checkbox. So there's 3 different things that we're looking at in boxes 1, 2, and 4 for the quality. Notice the quality names are all the same, okay? Change it here, it'll change there. You can look at it from here. So everything here can be whatever you want it to be. It can overlap. It doesn't matter. The names can be the same. If you change it here, it'll change there. Now, the intensity ranges means that it's only going to count the volume if it's within these intensities on your calculator. And it's only going to count it for your volume if the reps per set are within what we want. So for mine, if we're assessing 1 to 2, max strength 1 to 2, circa max 1 to 3, accelerative strength 2 to 5, strength speed 3 to 5, peak power 3 to 5 reps in each set. Completely customizable for you. You can use it however you want. It will give you a load score based off of that. You can hide it there, and you can keep working set to set. So let's say we have 5-5-3-3-3. Let's say I want to just go 5 sets of 3. And let's look at how we're going to progressively overload. Let's say I wanted to go up to 75. So we're going 70, 70, 75, 75, 75. And we're just going to do normal reps with no tempo. Notice that the player load is going to go down, one, because we're doing less total reps. Less total reps is always going to be less stress, right? The load volume is technically lower because we did less reps even though we increased the intensity, the average intensity. So you could feel us getting a little bit heavier. Total load volume's down, reps are down. So we're still training strength, right? But it's not going to be as hard to recover from. Now, notice we have X's here. This means we've got 6 reps in the strength speed category, 9 reps in the accelerated strength category, but both having X's. That does not mean that the set and rep scheme is bad. Do not think that. It just means it doesn't fully qualify for that specific quality. Now, sometimes we want to overlap them. Sometimes we want to spend half in strength speed, half in accelerated strength. That's fine. There are no rules here. 100% customizable for you. Sometimes we want to peak. Sometimes we want to accumulate. Sometimes we want to stay the same. There's a lot of different reasons that we can use this. I believe this calculator is really valuable if you take these 6 qualities out. I just think it's a good addition. You can even look at this as something separate. If you just look at it from top to bottom, from player load score, your intensity average, total reps, and load volume, you can see anything that's involved with progressive overload that you need to know where you're headed, the changes, the differences between the two. Load volume is a big deal. It'll tell you exactly how much load you're lifting. Let me give you an example. Let's look at a an in-season approach. Sometimes coaches say, well, I want to lift light and maintain. Well, you're not going to maintain strength, and you're actually going to do more work. Let's say we do 4 sets of 8, right? Oh, we're just going to do this at 60%, right? 60%, right? Leave it here. We've got a load volume, or player load of 6.40, a load volume of 192. Let's say instead of doing 3 sets of 8 or 4 sets of 8, okay, let's do 5 sets of 3. Okay, so instead of 32 reps, we're only going to do 15. But our intensity is going to be a lot higher. Let's say we even get up to 85% on an ascending approach. Okay, look at the difference in player load score. It's almost half. The load volume is much lower, but our intensity is much higher. Less work, still trying to keep our strength, and we can recover it from it easier. That's an easy way to make an argument of we need to lift somewhat heavy in season to maintain our strength and we can recover from it, rather than trying to be light and maintain, quote unquote. When you're not really maintaining anything, you're just getting yourself sore. So you have all of those. You can go all the way back to that empty template. If you want to make a copy of a blank one, I'll always recommend to duplicate it first and go from there. Remember, all of your customizable metrics are on the left-hand side with the expandable menu. You can make it into whatever you want it to be. But just know that from intensity average, total reps, load volume, and above, all of that is automatically calculated. Okay, 5, and then whenever you write in your set reps, it's all there. Again, if you have questions, don't feel free to reach out. Let's move on to our charts. These are my charts. This is 100% the programming protocols that I use. Feel free to add what you want. This is how I train. We use velocity-based training where I'm at, but I translated it over to more of a percentage base, and this is how you read it. So I want you to look at it from this way. This is more of a force chart. This is more of an accentuated eccentrics chart. So where we use size, capacity, and skill, and then we're trying to develop strength and power. 2 different charts. The emphasis here goes from light to heavy, top to bottom, and we read it from left to right. So if the quality is peak power, we're going to train somewhere between 52 and 58% of our 1RM, or if you're doing velocity, 0.85 meters per second or greater. 3 to 5 reps per set, 4 to 7 total sets total, 12 to 28 total reps. That's the total rep range, and then the optimal volume would be 21. For example, if we did 7 sets of 3, that's 21. That's the optimum range. Anywhere within this range would work. Being able, so for example, if we want to do 6 sets of 3 at 55%, we're going to hit peak power, and our goal is to try to hit that speed. And you can read it the same way all the way down to max force, where we're trying to develop strength, 1 to 2 reps per set, from 1 to 5 sets, 3 to 8 total reps, and 6 being our optimal volume. Again, feel free to make changes. This is just what I use. For eccentrics, okay, big fan of eccentrics to put on size, to create capacity, and to get good at lifts. Okay, you're looking at anywhere between, we're trying to get between 15 to 35 total seconds of time. And you can look at it here of the percentages, the optimal percentages we want to use for the certain time frame of eccentric. So here, let's say we're doing 3 reps in a set. We're going to use between 70 to 75%, 3 to 5 total sets, total volume being 9 to 15. And what eccentric time do I want to use? So let's say we're doing 3 reps, 4 seconds down. Okay, that's 12 seconds of eccentric you're working with, 75%. The longer you go in the eccentric, the lighter the weight you need to use in order to probably complete it because of how difficult the time of retention is going to be. The higher the reps per set go, the lower the intensity is going to go. This is going to be really fluid. This is just a really ballpark chart that I use that gets me really close to challenging the systems at a high level and being able to get really good positions out of it and being able to complete the set. Might be off a little bit depending on your athletes. Feel free to change it as you see fit. And then over here to the right is our simple relative intensity table of telling you how hard a set of these reps are, okay, depending on the percentage, right? If you want a set of 5 that's moderate, you're going to hit about 75%. If you want a set of 3 that's moderate, you're going to hit about 80%. If you want a set of 3 that's 100% maximal and you got to be perfect and it's heavy as possible, 92.5%. If you want a set of 5 that's pretty easy, 65%. Just some ways to look at it to understand whenever you're programming percentages, that's what it looks like. And in the last tab here is our presets. This is 36 sets and rep schemes that I have created, along with the player load that comes from the programming load tool, and some scheme descriptions here that you can use. 3 for strength, 3 for power, 3 for size, and 3 for capacity/skill. Feel free to use them. They're really effective. You can look at the player loads that come along with them. And I've used all of these. I would not program any of these if I have not programmed all of them at least one time. And I believe they're effective. Feel free to use them. Take them, iterate them, change them, make it yours, and become a better programmer and a better strength conditioning coach. If you guys have any questions about that, feel free to email me at cody@clhstrength.com, and I'll do my best to accommodate you the best I can. Enjoy.